Эдди, ты мне почти как брат. Родная кровиночка.
Веном 2.
Hey.
Wow! Hi, Tom. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Good.
You?
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm from Moscow. Host the morning show on the biggest radio station in Russia. So, hello from our listeners.
Hello.
Cool. Hi.
I know that after release of the first part of Venom, the fans were not totally satisfied with Venom's character. I guess thanks to his humor, he didn't look like an anti-hero. And do you pay attention to audience opinion? So you could change something in the script.
Не жрать людей.
Хочешь жить в моем теле, соблюдай правила.
Прости, не знаю, что на меня нашло. Дай выправлю.
Давай.
Чтобы снова вмазать.
Ты неудачник.
Yeah, I do. In bold response to that, 100%. You have to listen to what people like and what they don't like. Otherwise, there's no point in doing business, you know? Like, sometimes things are lost in translation and misunderstood. But, you know, and sometimes things are just wrong. You know what I mean? And sometimes things really hit the button and you don't know how you got there. But I think feedback is critical in order to chart a course towards as much success as possible. And in this game, there's two sides to success. There's financial, but ultimately what I deal with on the day one is, does the story make sense? Are people entertained? Are we telling a good story? Are we presenting the best of ourselves as artists? With this particular, the joy of this IP, are we bringing the very best of ourselves to it in service? And yeah, so, you know, criticism, it plays a heavy part in steering that ship. But at the same time, you know, we have to make decisions that some people aren't gonna like, you know, and that's just part of the game, you know? Like there are some people who go, no, this is not for me, and that's okay, but it's for somebody else too. We have to reach as many people as possible. And that in itself is part of the game, is to reach as many people as possible with a range. That's quite complicated, but you do take feedback seriously, yeah.
Okay, Andy, what was your first reaction to the offer to head the filming of Venom 2?
Oh, listen, I was blown away when Tom called me up and said, Andy, look, we'd really like to throw your hat in the ring to helm this movie. And I immediately, you know, I didn't have to think twice about it because I'd seen the first movie. I knew Tom. Obviously, I've wanted to work with Tom for many years, but I adored his performance in the first film. I just think, you know, it's such an amazing piece of acting, and the you know, the relationship that was set up in that was so fertile, such fertile ground to explore. You know, the avenue ahead, which was this now very complex, dysfunctional, screwed up. You know, egotistically driven, sort of from both sides, but at the same time, you know, kind of just complex, real bromance, love affair. Well, call it what you will. It was such great ground to be able to get involved with, and then on top of that, to bring into the mix this great new nemesis character of Carnage, which has never really been seen on screen before, with the great Woody Harrelson and you know, evolve Cletus Cassidy and create a palette and a colour and a sensibility which would make all of this stuff meld into one. So yeah, I said yes, please.
So you told that was Tom who called you about this?
It was Tom. Yeah, he called me. Yeah, which was a lovely way to come into a movie actually with a fellow artist who you totally respect.
100%. I was lucky enough to be able to make the call. Because it's unusual. Normally, I get a director and a writer and a script and a studio approach me to say, would you be interested? Or it's not a promise, but would you be interested? And in this process, it's slightly different. We had to develop the story and then the script first, and then once the studio is happy with the script, we decide who do you think would be best to deliver this as a director. And like, and everybody's like, Andy would be brilliant because, you know, not only is he, you know, apprenticed on like Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson, he's been second unit director on this, he's done Jungle Book, Breathe, he's given arguably, you know, some of the best fantasy characters that we have, from, you know, Gollum, King Kong, Caesar, you know, Captain Haddock. The list is endless. He's an actor, I have a language with him that I understand. When I'm doing something particularly challenging, he can hold the space. It's not crazy to him. He understands it. He understands computer-generated images, motion capture. He understands a huge canvas. He's friendly to the studio. You know, this is a no-brainer. And they said, okay, you know, we like him too. Give him a call. I said, Andy, please. What do you think? It's gonna be this.
And didn't you have an idea to make a small cameo of Andy using motion capture technology?
You know what? I really knew I'd have my hands full on this.
He wouldn't let us do it. We had to ask, you know. We built a whole, you know, we built a whole movie around just this one scene, and he turned us down.
You know, in maybe another time. But this was going to be this. We had so much to do in so little time that I just wouldn't have had the headspace for it.
He did have one cameo in the movie. Yeah, but it was not as a CGI motion capture. It was as man on crutches steps out in the road, nearly gets hit by a car, jumps back. But it was so bad.
I was so bad.
It was so unconvincing.
I had to cut myself out.
He cut himself from his own movie, and we were all grateful for that. It was just show us what a ruthless and yet empathetic and compassionate director. He has no time for time wasting.
Exactly.
None.
Seconds wasted.
Okay, Tom, you told that one of your sons is a big fan of Venom. Will you let him watch the sequel?
He's old enough to watch the sequel, yeah. Like, but I have children. One of them is old enough to watch this movie and the first one. And he's seen it actually, and he's given his feedback along the way and addressed various issues with it.
Я пошел!
Ты куда?
Это ж красный!
Вернись немедленно. Потом можешь жрать кого угодно.
Обещаешь?
Да, клянусь.
По рукам!
You know, it's really interesting watching these kind of movies with the age bracket with which they're meant for, because they're also meant for grown-ups too, and it's multi-layered. But I think with the younger members of the audience who literally cap the age bracket, they will give you a really honest feedback. And sometimes as adults, you're like, oh, this is so stressful. We have to make sure that grown-ups get it. It's like, no, if the kids get happy with it, you're lucky. You know, you stop now, stop. You know, but they're very brutal children, like in a kind way. They're honest. You know, like my son told me, you know, you're cool, but you know, you're not Spider-Man, Dad. Let's be honest, okay? So let's help you make it better. Thank you. What do you think of this?
Хаос уже близко.
Is the loneliest number that you ever do.
Шоколад сегодня еще не завозили.
Да ладно!
Вы же обещали.
И что ты сделаешь? Испепелишь меня взглядом?
Давай я сожру эту стерву.
Нет, ты не будешь жрать, миссис Чен.
Что?
Ничего.